Hi, this is Ed from Wright. I hope you're doing well. Recently, I've had to break down machine costs as an example for a few different people, and while it's on my mind, I thought I'd go ahead and just make a video and go through some of these things for you. A lot of these things you intuitively know, but you haven't put the math to it. So I'm going to put the math to it and a little bit of perspective. So first off, my numbers here are from some historical things that I've kept track of, but also kind of creating a spreadsheet, which I have right here behind the camera, of modeling the life cycle of a machine, probability of different things. So I'm working with the assumption that, well, this is 4,000 hours example, and at 4,000 hours, I mean, a lot of you are going to turn your machine well before that, but 4,000 hours is a point where I think that there's probably going to be a 50% chance that you'll be on your second engine, maybe even a little bit more. So let's break it down. So 4,000 hours at $15 an hour, this is your number one expense when you buy a mower, is going to be the labor to drive it, okay? You're going to spend about 60 grand on labor just to operate this machine, okay? Keep that in perspective, and we're going to circle back to that at the end, okay? Number two greatest expense is going to be fuel. You will spend around 18 grand of fuel on this machine by the time you get to that point. Number three biggest item is maintenance. You will spend around $6,000 on maintenance. I'm talking here blades, oil changes, filters, those kinds of things, okay? Oh, and by the way, if a machine has grease fittings, you're going to be looking at somewhere around $1,000, $1,200, something like this, just in labor to pump grease into that machine, okay? Never mind the cost of the grease tube. So it's super if there's a machine that doesn't have grease fittings. There's a lot of reasons why, but just, just note that. Okay, then we're looking at repairs, okay? And by repairs, I mean like things that, unplanned repairs, okay? So it could be a clutch, a hydro, it could be spindles, a couple sets of tires, these kinds of things. So this expense will add up to around $9,000 by the time you get to that point. And recognize that $9,000, oftentimes you'll almost pay the same on repairs as you do on the piece of equipment by the time you get to the end of its useful life. And that's actually not an uncommon theme for a lot of pieces of equipment, like even a truck. Oftentimes by the time a truck is completely wasted, maybe it wasn't you, but subsequent owners, what's spent on repairing that vehicle is oftentimes pretty close to the original purchase price of the vehicle. And that's true for lawnmowers as well. Okay, so then one of the lowest costs actually is your capital depreciation. You bought this machine for, say, 9 grand, and you might get $1,000 out of it at the end, so your net cost there on that piece of equipment was $8,000. That's actually one of the lower expenses here. So back to the top again. After 4,000 hours, which might be 16,000 acres or something like that, you're going to spend $60,000 on labor. So when you're looking for a machine, number one thing here is don't just price shop the machine. Look at what the machine delivers for you, okay? Look at the productivity of that machine. If that machine can do 10% more work per an hour, okay, then that might be 1,600 more acres, or that may mean 10% on that $60,000 is $6,000 more value, okay? So look at the productivity and the performance, not as much on the purchase price. And I'm not just, trying to promote selling our mowers, which tend to be a little higher on the price. I'm saying anytime you look at equipment, number one, look at performance. Number two, look at maintenance. Number three, look at the sturdiness of the machine. And I missed in there fuel. So in my mind, if you have a machine that's, say, 27 horsepower and up, that is really a great application for EFI, and you'll save a lot of money if you can get that $18,000 to be reduced by, let's say, 20% or so. That's a lot of savings on fuel. Now, EFI, they are a little more expensive to repair when something goes wrong, so recognize that. But those bigger engines, you're going to make it up. Engines that are like 18 horsepower and lower, right now with the cost of EFI, I don't really think it makes sense. Part of that's just the utilization on a smaller machine. You're not going to put that many hours on it a year, so your payback comes too far down the road. So yeah, look at the machine's performance, number one. And then once you've picked out the machine that it's got the best performance and durability, reliability, all those things that you need for the kind of work you're doing, yeah, do your best to find a good price on the machine. I'm not saying squander your money, but look at performance. Anyhow, I hope this is helpful to you. If you would, I'm sure this is triggering a lot of different thoughts in your mind, so if you have any great ideas or feedback or suggestions or things you want to share with other people, put that in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Hope you have a good one.